So in this new world of work from home and working out of co-working spaces and even working out of coffee shops, one of the more important things to get a handle on is going to be your portable display solution. Whether you are using a Windows computer, a Mac computer, or even an iPad Pro, now that we have extended monitor support, it is extremely beneficial being able to have a portable external display. And now, while you can get some of these for anywhere from $100 to $200 if you search on Amazon, there are a bunch of these fly-by-night companies that will sell you these at that price point, but when you do get them, A, they don't last that long, and B, you don't get exactly what you're looking for, and lastly, they feel extremely cheap. So what I wanted to do in this video was grab the most premium level portable monitors and compare them and show down to see exactly which one is worth it for your hard-earned money. So here we have it, the Sotsu Elite 16, the flip action version, against the Espresso 17 Pro, which is going to be their highest end model. Let's get into this comparison. So let's get right into this comparison and see what these high-end portable monitors have to offer. And I will say that both of these are great products in their own right. There are a few determining factors that we're going to go over that'll help differentiate each one of these and help you decide exactly which one is going to be best for your current situation. So let's start off with the specs of the screen themselves. So on the Espresso 17 side, we have a 17.3-inch diagonal display, versus on the Elite 16 from Sotsu, it is a 16-inch diagonal exactly display. Since these are supposed to be portable displays, these are going to be relatively thin, with the Sotsu one being thinner, not including the base or the stand or anything like that. The Sotsu one is a little bit thinner, although both of them are extremely thin in their own right. And then when it comes to weight themselves, the Sotsu one, and now this does include the weight of the stand for both of these, the Sotsu is 2 pounds exactly versus the Espresso display is 2.4 pounds with the stand included. And these both fit into most bags. Again, if you have a bag that can fit a 16-inch MacBook Pro relatively easily, then each of these will be perfect to fit into those backpacks, and they've even fit in smaller ones, which is great to see. Both of these have a very glossy display, and you're going to be using your fingers a lot on these to move them around because they are portable, so definitely keep a little handkerchief or some sort of microfiber cloth around if you don't like fingerprints, because these will attract fingerprints very easily. Now what's nice about this is that they're both 4K monitors, they both max out at 450 nits of peak brightness, they both cover the same color gamut, so they have 100% of the DCI P3 color gamut, so you don't have to worry about that. And when it comes to contrast ratio for those, deep blacks against those white backgrounds and things like that, there's a 1200 to 1 contrast ratio on the Sotsu versus a 1000 to 1 on the Espresso 17, so the Sotsu does have a little bit better of a contrast ratio overall, but at the end of the day, it's not really a night and day difference. And then the final thing to consider when it comes to the display specifically is going to be that the 17 Pro from Espresso is a full touchscreen display, so it is meant to be used with either your finger or it can be used with their additional accessory, which is a separate cost with their pencil accessory that they have for being able to pinpoint things on the display itself, but it does bring a touchscreen experience to Windows, to your Mac computer, and then again, of course, to something like your iPad or even your iPhone, because you can use your iPhone with USB-C directly plugged in here, albeit it just mirrors your iPhone, but it's cool to see that both of these can do that, versus on the Sotsu side, it is not a touchscreen whatsoever, and that is reflected on the price, which I will mention at the end of the video to see which one is going to be worth it for you. But just know that if you need a touchscreen portable display and you're deciding between these two, then you're going to have to go with the Espresso one, because that one is the only one that does have a touchscreen experience. So Fernando from the future, everybody. I've been getting request on request about this wallpaper, and the way to get this is to become a channel member. This one, as well as 8 other ones for the month of February, have been released. And if you sign up to become a channel member, you get every single wallpaper we've created, which is well over 100 of them. So definitely recommend becoming a channel member, and it helps support the channel as well. So if you want to try it out, first link in the description. Let's get back to it. So now let's talk about the ports, because both of these have a different set of ports. And again, the biggest factor when it comes to a portable display, or one of the most important factors for me, of course, aside from the resolution and the brightness, is going to be that it needs to be a single cable solution, and it must not need a separate power source. So if I have a portable display that needs to have another power source connected to it, that's a hard no for me every single time, because that defeats the purpose of having these be as portable as possible. But it's great to know that both of these work off of a single USB-C cable. Both of them will bring that USB-C cable in the box, with the Sotsu one having a nice L-shaped one on one side so it doesn't get in the way of anything. So I like that nice little touch on the Sotsu one. But all you need to do is plug it in directly to your MacBook Pro, your MacBook Air, your Windows machine, and it even works with your iPad Pro. So if you have an iPad Pro and you want to have extended monitor support and use Stage Manager and have a single cable solution, you are more than capable to do that. Now there are 2 USB-C ports on the Espresso 17 Pro, so you can daisy chain it, and you can also use it as a power pass-through, because it does pass through power to something like your MacBook Air or MacBook Pro, but those are the only ports on the 17 Pro. And then when you go over to the Sotsu 16, you do have those same two USB-C ports with the same kind of functionality, so you can plug it in directly and just have the single cable solution, or you can attach power and it'll charge your laptop at the same time. But then it also has a mini HDMI port if that's something that you need, and it also has a full-size SD card reader built into the stand, which is a great little touch. Not something that I thought I would need or even use that much, but it is good to know that in a pickle, if you do need to have an SD card reader and you don't have a dongle, you know that it is built into your portable display. So now let's get into the actual stand situation, because I think the Sotsu one is one of the more unique integrations when it comes to the stand, because you have half the stand that's kind of always on the back of the display, and that's either a positive or a negative depending on who you are and how you're going to be using this, because if you plan to use this display just with the stand that it comes with at all times, then it won't be a big issue. But if you have some other accessories, maybe with the 17 Pro, and you want to be able to use it without the stand, maybe lean it up against a wall, or maybe use a folio stand that you can also get separately, then the freedom of the 17 Pro not having an attached stand is going to be relatively beneficial. Let's go over the Sotsu one first, because when you get it out of the box, you do have both the built-in piece of the stand on the back middle, and then you also have the bottom of the stand magnetically attached to the back. So for portability standpoint, this works great because you just pop it off and on, it's easy to put on, and it's easy to kind of keep together and you won't lose it. But when you're ready to set it up, you remove the actual stand itself, you put it down, you unfold it, and then you unfold the stand, and then you kind of line it up correctly, and then put the stand that's connected to the actual Sotsu display onto the bottom stand or the bottom placer or the foot of it, and then you're good to go. Now the ports are on the actual connected stand themselves, so that is good to know that you don't need to have that bottom stand in order for it to work, and it works when it is removed from the stand, so no worries about that. And what I like about it is that you can rotate it 360 degrees, and for every 90 degrees there's a satisfying click to know that you're at that 90-degree threshold. So you can actually move it and it'll click into place, but then also it'll recognize that you are maybe in a portrait mode, or maybe you went 180 degrees, and it'll automatically rotate the display for you, which is a great touch, and I love to see that. So there isn't any software settings you need to go into, especially when you're going from normal horizontal to higher horizontal. It does fix it itself. And if you do want to, you can go into the software settings and really change up the verticality if you need to. And then the last point I do want to bring up with the Sotsu one is that the rear dial is actually clickable, and that's going to be your on-display menu for brightness, for changing the opacity and things like that. So if you do want to have some physical controls on there, that little wheel on the back that looks like it wouldn't be anything, you can actually click on it, and it's a D-pad essentially to let you mess with the settings on the display. And now let's migrate over to the Espresso one when it comes to their stand situation. So their stand is completely modular, it's fully magnetic, and of course you can also have a 360-degree view, but I do love the stand of the Espresso 17 display, because like I said, it's fully removable, it's extremely compact, it's extremely rigid, the magnets are very strong, and the new stand that comes included with the 17 Pro does allow you to even rise it higher above your laptop if that's something that you want to get into. So you'll be able to see exactly what that looks like when it comes to using the new stand, because it opens up normally, but then it also has this double flap design on the bottom, which allows you to rise it up even higher to get it at eye level if you are using it at a standing desk or something of that nature. The last little piece I do want to mention, just from a design language standpoint, is going to be the displays themselves. You can see that the display of the Sotsu is completely uniform around the edges. It kind of looks like an iPad Pro, but instead of the rounded edges on the physical screen side, it just have those 90-degree corners. But you can see that the bezels around it, and people have even said that it looks like an iPad Pro, and people have confused it for an iPad Pro. So that's cool to see that it does kind of have that nice design language. And of course, like I said, it does have the uniform bezels. Versus on the 17 Pro, while the bezels are small, it does have a little bit of a chin on the bottom. It isn't a big deal, and you do forget about it once you start using it after a couple minutes, but if that's something that's going to annoy you when it comes to using it vertically especially, it won't be fully symmetrical, so it does have a little bit of a chin on the bottom. So now when it comes to price point and availability, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, because of course, like I mentioned, the Espresso is a little bit of a larger display, so you have a few more pixels in there to take into account, and it does have that touchscreen capability. So the Espresso 17 is currently available, and I will add that this display is actually a little bit over a year old now at this point, versus the Sotsu one is under pre-order, so they have had the ability to play with it a little bit more, and I would anticipate that maybe Espresso will revamp the design a little bit, especially to give you those uniform bezels overall, but this one is available today, which again the Sotsu one is under pre-order right now. But the Espresso 17 comes with the display, it comes with a cleaning cloth, it comes with the cable and the stand, and it's going to be $7.99. And the Sotsu one does come with the display, the cable, the stand, and a small little carrying case, kind of just a cloth carrying case, which is a nice little touch, and that one's going to be $6.79. You can pre-order the Sotsu one today, and it will be available in March of this year. And like I said, Espresso's is going to be available today, and I believe we have a 10% off coupon, so that $7.99 does turn into about $7.30, so that is something to consider. So it's $730 versus $680, so it's $50 worth the extra inch and a half of screen real estate, and is it also worth having the ability to go touchscreen if needed? Again, to each their own in terms of being able to decide what you need in your workflow. So what's nice is that you get to kind of pinpoint a few different features that you know you're going to need and then decide on the form factor, and then be able to decide on the display, because like I said, both made out of premium materials, both out of machined aluminum, which is great to see, both 4K displays, 450 nits of brightness, 60 Hz displays, one is touchscreen, one isn't, so you know exactly who you are on which one you're going to need to get and which one you're going to want to pay for with your hard-earned money. So let me know in the comment down below what you think overall, which design you like better, which stand you like better, which display do you like better, do you need a touchscreen, do you like the form factor of Sotsu versus Espresso or vice versa? Always curious to know what you guys think when it comes to something like this at that ultra premium point. But that'll do it, everybody. If you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this one, definitely check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here, everybody. Peace.